Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to talk about the law of manifestation. So I want to start by talking about manifestation itself and what a lot of people get wrong. They think that if you think it long enough and hard enough, if you think of what you want long enough and hard enough, it will magically appear. Like hoping for $1 million, thinking about the $1 million, and suddenly you're going to just wake up and $1 million is going to be there. Or the house that you want, or the health that you want. Okay, so this can be with anything. And on this channel, we're talking about health, but you can take this for anything. And the reason I use $1 million is because it's an easy example to for people to get. You know, we have so many stories around our health that it's harder for us to get it, but it applies to health. So you are not just going to think about what you want and really want what you want and try to focus on the outcome, the $1 million or whatever it is that you want. We all know it's health. And then it's just going to appear because we've thought it long enough and hard enough, and we've somehow tapped into the magic of this manifestation, and it appears out of thin air, which is what the law of manifestation, as taught by The Secret many, many years ago, what people misinterpret and get completely wrong. Manifestation does work, but it doesn't work that way. Part of that is true, but that's really what people get wrong, is that you just make a vision board, or you put the image in your head long enough, or you think about it long enough that it magically appears. And that's the myth. The truth is that you think about things, you make the vision board, you use your mind and your imagery to create these images, not as a way so that it will magically appear out of thin air, but so that you become the person psychologically who holds the beliefs and the values and the feelings of the person who has the $1 million, or who has the house, or who has the health. Because it's not the image of $1 million itself that gets us the $1 million. It's the believing that we have and we are a millionaire. It's changing to a millionaire mindset. It's believing. It is manifestation in the way that we think about it so often that our brain thinks about ways to make $1 million, thinks about things that we could do. You know, what is the mindset of a millionaire? And that leads us to actions. It leads us to opportunities. It leads us to beliefs and a mindset and a feeling that actually causes us to take the necessary actions to manifest what it is that we want. So the manifestation does not come out of thin air. That's the thing everyone gets wrong. The manifestation comes as a result of thinking like a millionaire, thinking of somebody who's healthy, thinking for so long and focused on health and healing for so long, or focused on money, making money and becoming a millionaire for so long, that it leads you to the mindsets of these people. It leads you to the beliefs that these people would hold. It leads you to create your self-identity as a millionaire, as somebody who's healed. And as that new identity that you create for yourself through this law of manifestation, by focusing on something, it helps us take aligned action with what it is that we want and desire. And when we take this aligned action, no matter what the results are, we continue to keep going in that direction of the $1 million, or of the house that we want, or of the health that we require. We continue to do that because we've changed our beliefs. We've changed our mindsets. Our actions are in alignment with this thing that we are obsessed with, that we think about all the time, and that we truly not only want, but believe that we can have. And so we stay in that mindset. We don't just fall off and be like, okay, well, I did it for 3 months, it didn't work, I guess I'm not going to get $1 million. I guess I'm not going to get health. It's like, no, you stay in that consciousness because you change who you are. You change your values, you change your beliefs, you change your wants, you change what you're doing, right? You're taking now aligned action, continual aligned action, because you believe that you're worthy, that you deserve it, and that you can have it. And so by looking at these vision boards, it's not the vision board itself or the image, the mental image that we put in our mind of what we want itself. It's going to appear out of nowhere. But it's like when we're heading towards that, it's like just like anyone, it's going towards a goal that we want. They're manifesting it. Some people call it goal work and some people call it manifestation. When you call it manifestation, it implies that there's some magic that makes something appear out of nothing. It still appears out of your beliefs, out of your habits, out of your actions. And those are what we change. When we fundamentally change those things, then we don't have to try so hard to change our beliefs and our actions, because our actions just fall in line with the new belief about who we are, what we want and what we deserve, and what we're willing to settle for and what we know we can have. So when we're manifesting and we're truly focused on something that we desire and we want, and we're meditating on it or doing some future visualizations on it, and we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, we're acting, using the law of assumption to act from the end, to act as if. We're calling it into our being. We're elevating our emotions so that we have the feeling of what it would feel like to have that thing that we want. So there's no magic that happens out of thin air. There's magic that happens within you. The magic is inside you. The magic is through your new beliefs and your new identity of who it is that you are and who it is that you're becoming. And that's the magic. And so it's really a whole mindset shift, a whole identity shift. And there's work. So let's say an obese person wants to become thin. They don't just visualize a thin person, do meditation on being thin and healthy and fit, and then go to the gym once, take an inspired action once, lift some weights, and expect that to have worked. No, you wouldn't do that, because you realize that's not going to happen. You're not going to magically wake up one day from being obese to magically being thin. But when you visualize it, when you put the vision board up of the thin, fit people, and you constantly put that in your mind, you're changing your beliefs. Like, I am this person. This is what I want. And when you think of what you want long enough and surround yourself what it is you want, you start to create new beliefs. Like, that is me. I can have that. Not only can I have that, but I am that. I believe myself to be a thin person. I believe myself to becoming a thin person. I believe myself that I'm worthy of that. And that is going to be me. That is me. That's me inside. My body might not reflect it, but that is me. And when you hold your vision on that, your imagination on that, your attention on that, your focus on that, then you begin to take aligned action. You begin to eat healthy and drink more water. You begin to consciously eat, right? Eat things that are going to be good for you. You begin to go to the gym, begin to join classes. You begin to get outside more and exercise more and get to sleep earlier, and all the things that are going to help you achieve that, right? So, but it's not just setting a goal and doing it, although that's really what it is, but it's the belief. It's changing your belief, your values, and the idea, your identity of who you are. And when you do that, the aligned action comes easier, and you start to live out the life of a thin, fit person. Even though the mirror does not reflect your new thin, fit image yet, inside you begin to feel like that person, and you're taking action, and you're playing sports, and you're going out with friends, and you're consciously watching what you eat, and you're shifting your diet, and you're shifting your nutrition, you're shifting your hydration, you're shifting your exercise, you're shifting your activities, you're shifting the clothes you wear, you're shifting your whole mental focus, but really the beliefs about who you are and your own self-identity. And when you do that for long enough, when you hold that belief truly inside as your new identity, then you're always taking aligned action towards that. And that's when it becomes easier to do the activities, to go to the gym, to eat healthy. And it doesn't seem so much like work anymore, but who you are and what you are becoming. And months later, you look in the mirror and see the reflection of the newer, thinner, fitter, healthy person. And when you keep that up and you keep living that life with that new belief, you know, a year down the road and you look into the mirror, you see the reflection of what you are shining back at you. Even though you believed it 12 months earlier, you felt it 12 months earlier, now it's showing it. So it's not always instant, and that's what we call manifestation, but it's not no work. That person did work. But because they changed their beliefs and their identity, the work didn't feel so intense. The work felt like it aligned with their true self. It aligned with who they are. So that's called manifestation, because you're calling into being what you want and what you believe and your new identity, actually. So that's what manifestation truly is. And that's why there's not necessarily magic that you just wake up one day and you look in the mirror out of nowhere and you are fit and healthy. But it's the work that you've put in along the way as a result of your values, your beliefs, and your self-identity and your choices, right? On who you choose to be, who you believe you are. And that is the same as health. So we often have a lot of challenging health stories and things that get in the way. And when we stop believing those stories, when we stop going down the negative stories and the beliefs about illness, and we start to use manifestation by visualizing health, by seeing ourselves as healthy, by making new choices, by living a lifestyle that's now healthy, by doing the things that we would want if we were healed, by starting to live that life now, by instilling those beliefs and those values about ourselves as being healthy and healed now, by taking the inspired actions and by getting into alignment that we are that, we deserve that, we can have that, and we're becoming that, and hold our attention there and change our beliefs, then we will start to have inspired action, and we'll start to do the things that we previously thought we couldn't. And as we take these new healthy actions in our life and healed actions as becoming that healed version of yourself that you want, eventually these things begin to normalize. They begin to normalize and feel aligned with the version of you that you are becoming and that you are now that person. And that's when you start to feel the results of being healed. And so a lot of these beliefs that we hold about chronic illness and suffering and pain and symptoms are unconscious. They're unconscious and they're filtered through a story of our past. And just like past traumas or stories or whatever it is, we always heal anything by first becoming aware. So aware you're in a story, aware you're in a negative loop, aware you're playing the what if worry game in a negative way, and stop. Once you see, oh, I'm telling myself that old story, oh, I'm playing the what if game in a negative way, I'm thinking negative thoughts, I'm letting myself fall into victim consciousness, I'm believing that I'm ill, I'm telling the story that I'm ill, I'm talking about my symptoms all day long, I'm saying I'm never going to heal. Like, when you notice this, you snap out of your unconscious stories, patterns, and behaviors, and you first become aware. You're like, I am aware that I'm doing this. I'm doing this thing again. I'm being a victim. I'm telling the story. I'm feeling those negative feelings. I'm worrying. I'm playing that what if game. What if I never heal? I'm doing the thing that causes me to stay in this state, to stay in the belief and to stay in the personal identity of a sick person who has chronic illness. And so once you become aware, awareness is always step number one, then you change it. You say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to change it. So do the opposite. Do the opposite of whatever it is you're doing every single time, right? Make a 180 shift. Okay, I'm talking about my symptoms. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to completely stop and talk about something I do want, right? Or I'm worrying about, oh my God, what if this happens and this happens and this happens? Okay, I'm going to play the what if game, but I'm going to say, what if something amazing happens? What if today's the best day of my life? What if today I find out the secret of healing. What if today my symptoms disappear? I'm going to do something in a different way. So no matter what's happening, you first become aware, and the second, you make a 180 shift, change to what it is you do want. And you know what you want. So you can play it out visually, emotionally, right? You know what it is you want. Start taking aligned actions, even if they're forced, towards what it is that you want. What life would you live if you were healed? If you were healed, what relationship would you have? What would you get up and do? What would you want to do? What are your activities, your friends, your circle? Like, what is it that you are dreaming to do? And start doing it. It just like the person who is obese and looks in the mirror won't reflect back to you immediately. But this is like holding that new identity, that faith in what you're becoming and what you want, and knowing you're worthy and not wavering from that, holding that belief, right? That new belief in your new identity of who and what you are and what you want. And don't waver when you don't see the 3D reflection shining back to you as what you want yet. You stay in faith, you stay in belief, and you keep moving forward. That is how you manifest. That is the law of manifestation, which is what you think about most often, what you go towards, what you are thinking about, what you are wanting, you're calling into being. But it's not because it's magic, it's because you are changing your whole identity and belief structure, because you are becoming conscious and you're breaking those unconscious patterns, right? And those beliefs that you hold that are keeping you there. And then you are taking aligned action on who it is that you want to become and towards what it is that you want most. And you're not falling into victim consciousness when you look in the mirror and it doesn't reflect that. You're staying the course because you're changing who you are. You're changing your identity, you're changing your patterns, and you're changing your belief. And that is the law of manifestation, right? That is the law of manifestation. That is the law of assumption, right? The wish fulfilled, living in the end, living from the wish fulfilled. And it's like all these aligned actions and all these beliefs and all these values and all this whole personal identity that we have for ourselves, that we slowly change and build the new character, the new identity that we want to see. Okay? And when we do this, we eventually create the story and the values that go along with that new full identity. And we are creating the very thing that we want, and that is manifestation. So please don't give up on manifestation by thinking, oh, like I did this and the magic didn't come to me. The magic is you. The magic is inside you. The magic is your identity, the identity that you hold for yourself, the beliefs that you hold inside. What you want to create, you can create. This is manifestation. And so you have to show up in a new way. You can't show up in the old chronic illness, chronic sick or pain or symptoms way anymore. You have to show up as if you're healed, right? You can't be walking around in lack thinking, how am I going to heal? I don't know how to heal. I hate this. I hate feeling this way. Like, you can't be walking around in the identity of someone who's sick. Even if you do have symptoms, you have to walk around in the identity of like, what do I want to do today? This day is so amazing. I can do anything. Like, of course I can do anything. I can run, I can walk, I can talk, I can socialize, I can go anywhere I want. Like, I'm showing up in this new healed energy, the energy where I have everything I want and I can do anything I want because I'm healthy and whole and totally 100% healed. But if all you're doing is looking at the illness, focusing on the illness, like, you don't have room for the healed life. You have to be attached to your healing. You have to be attached to being healthy, to being whole, to feeling that way, to living that way, to living into the story and the beliefs of the person who's walking around like that, even if you don't feel like that yet, right? So you can't just all day long say, I wish I didn't have this, I wish I didn't have this. Be looking at the illness, be talking about the illness, be focused on the illness. That's not going to get you to where you want to go. And so you have to show up like you already have it, because you believe that you already have it, because you're creating a new identity that you have it. And what does this new healed identity want? Who is this new healed identity? What can they do? What do they want for their life? What is their relationships like? What is their day like? What can they do focus on who you are becoming, what you want, that healed version of yourself, and you cannot be riveted to the old. No matter how intense it is, you've got to find a way to break through that and live the life that you want, not focus on what you don't want. And you have to show up as this new version of yourself every single day, and you have to believe it, and you have to hold it in your mind and create it in your visualizations and look at it and think about it and try to feel it and take aligned actions. You have to show up every day as the version of yourself that you want until you get it. So I hope that this video has cleared things up. I hope that it has helped you. And I hope that you rewatch it and take the aligned actions necessary to change who you are and what you want, and hold that in the most highest power, because you can create anything you want. You have that power. It is you. It is inside of you. You are the magic of manifestation. It is you. So give this a like, give this a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.